After 5 years of development, Cupra gives the Born a facelift. And it's not just cosmetic, there are technical changes too. What exactly has changed, I will show you today now. What makes a good facelift? It doesn't make the previous model look old or outdated at all. And the Cupra designers definitely pulled that off. It looks fresh, it looks modern, but it still indeed very much looks like a Born after all. A lot has really changed. The whole front bumper has been comprehensively redesigned and reworked overall. The styling is completely different. The grills are different and the shark nose is new and more pronounced than on the previous model overall. The bit that still said Cupra, that's gone, totally passé. We've got big air curtains here that really slim the front down. Yeah, and the absolute highlight for a lot of people is the new headlights. You can see them, they wrap around here. They're basically, almost split in two. And for the first time, we've got matrix headlights here, but only in the top model, the VZ. In all the other models, you'll have to pay an extra $630 for that. On the axles, our top model rolls on 20-inch wheels all around every one. Now, there are actually 3 designs in total. The base model sits on 19-inch wheels, a standard, factory fitted by default. So what's new? The tire width. With the 19-inch wheel version, you'll now for the first time get the 2.35 tire that always comes with the VZ here. On the smaller models, it now actually gives a bit more pep and even more grip. With the facelifts unveiling, it's immediately available to place your order right now. Currently in 3 variants. One is the classic entry-level Born model indeed as such. Then there's the Endurance, that's the mid-range version. And as it stands here, the VZ version, they pretty much only differ in the battery capacity and the motor's overall power output really. Because the smallest base model has a 58 kilowatt battery. The other 2 models, the Endurance and the VZ, they have 79 kilowatt and thus 2 kilowatt more capacity than the previous model. For the 2 models with the big battery, Cupra says the charging power is at 2 different levels respectively. They actually give 2 different ones. I still haven't figured out which one it is. Doesn't matter. They don't really differ because at peak output, it's either 185 or 183 kilowatt hours really, honestly. That lets you quickly charge the big battery here in the underfloor area from 10 to 80% in 29 minutes. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find the charging power for the 58 kilowatt battery at the moment. I'll pull it up for you here right now though. Lighting is becoming more and more important at Cupra these days actually. You can already see that on our facelift model. We now feature illuminated door handles and of course a completely redesigned rear light design, because just like with the Leon as well of course, like on the Formentor, the Born now also has the full width rear light with the illuminated logo installed as well, actually indeed. Before it was basically just a vertical thing and looked very much like the Seat Leon logo. If you're wondering how to open the tailgate now, I don't have anything here. It's just like the Leon, right here, just a little bit over to the left of the reverse light, you've got the button for it. And there you can open and close your tailgate. It's a little fiddly to operate, not ideal in my opinion, but design simply took precedence over function here. Plain and simple really, to be honest. Whether it's the top VZ version here with the badge in dark chrome or the base model, this bumper in that design is always fitted to your new Born, invariably so. Yeah, and it already looks really quite hefty here. It's kind of glossy black or maybe gray. You can hardly make out what it's actually meant to be. Definitely, that's brand new. And what's also brand new is the complete preparation for the bike rack actually. That's now available for the first time in Born. It follows the ID3 principle. You fold the license plate back and then you've got your bike rack here, the option to plug it in. So you can simply mount the rack onto this ball head. A conventional tow bar won't be available here either, just like on the ID3. The current color palette stays the same, but it's being expanded by one more color, the one you see on our model here. They call it Tim and Fire Gray. Yeah, and it really does go perfectly with the copper accents, no question. A lot's changed inside, not as much as with the ID3 Neo, but still quite a bit. Admittedly, the floor inside was never really bad. In fact, it was noticeably better than the ID. Yeah, but that wasn't a reason to go, hey, let's just leave it like that. A lot of things did change after all. It even starts with the light switch. It feels like it's only half the size now and it's got a new shape. The dashboard up here has also been reshaped, and if you look in here, you'll see that right away. We've now got a fairly large speedo display indeed, actually. It's 10.25 inches. Before it was 5.6. This is now a proper fully fledged full display. It's a lot of fun. The cool thing is the AR display is of course still there for you. Yeah, and if I look over here a bit more, the first thing I see on the steering wheel is that we've got regular buttons. These touch buttons are now here on the, finally, the satellite buttons are a thing of the past. You get those on the mid version and of course on our VZ. One for the driving profiles and one for your individual settings and for initiating the start. So what else is new? Quite a bit, like this display on the center console. It's new. It still measures 12.9 inches, but the touch slider is now illuminated along its entire length, making it clearly visible even at a quick glance. That was long overdue. In the lower section of the dashboard, not much has really changed. The basic shape has been kept. It's just the color combos that are completely new. Another new thing is that we can now charge our phone wirelessly here very conveniently. That was available before as well, but now with much more power, up to 45 watts are now possible. And so the phone won't get too hot. There's extra cooling installed now. The door panels have received a complete makeover too. They're still worn down up here. They've got these diamond patterns in them. A little further down here as well. That's the real revolution. Actually, it's merely an evolution. It was around before, then they cut it out. Now it's back again once more indeed. 4 power windows make opening and closing the rear door much easier really indeed. I think that's great. The pull handle was also completely redesigned during the revamp, right down to every detail. Yeah, and not just the front door panels, the rear one's got an upgrade too. The center console keeps its basic function. What's new isn't the key, it's the key itself. That's really the point exactly, indeed so. You can now get a digital key right here, leave your regular physical key at home and simply use your smartphone alone to open, lock and start right now. I really like that. What I also like a lot and find particularly appealing are these sports seats here, the Kabakett-Sitze. They're exclusive to the VZ. The regular models also have a full bucket seat, but it's not styled quite as extreme as this one, if I'm being honest. They're all electrically adjustable. This one, of course, has much more side support, and on the driver's side, it's even set so you sit a bit lower than in a classic sports seat. For tall people, that's definitely a really good point. You've got a little bit more room overall. But thanks to the optional glass panoramic roof, you don't really have any headroom issues up top at all anyway. Compared to the previous model, the proportion of recycled materials has been noticeably increased again. Among other things, we are now actually making use of more plastics right here that were fished out of the ocean. Up to 75% of the interior is recycled plastic salvaged from the ocean. Behind the head unit, there's a new operating system, the very first one ever built on Android. And when I swipe through here, everything works really smoothly. This is really a lot of fun. What's totally new is that there's an online shop here, and with it you can add extra features to the vehicle. The controls are really simple, really fast. You can see this here. It reacts really lightning fast. So that's quite a cool software solution and a cool hardware setup behind it. One particular detail that really makes you wonder, why on earth did they do that? The air vents are back again. No, they're not back. They're being used here for the first time. They actually weren't in the FUH facelift. What we've got one level down are extra USB-C ports with up to 45 watts of charging power, so it won't get too hot back here and the battery has enough juice available indeed. As for the drivetrains, Cupra goes with the exact same lineup Volkswagen uses in the Neo. The APP 350 replaces almost all the engines. It replaces the 190 HP version and the 231 HP unit, but we actually have another variant here now. We're running the VZ and the APP 550 is still used. 550 in this case for 545 Newton meters of torque, 340 kilonewtons, 326 horsepower at the rear axle precisely. A new feature, the connected travel assist, it now even recognizes traffic lights. I've just activated it. The display shows travel assist ready to start. And now we'll just wait and see what happens when it turns green. It'll have to give me a signal and I'll just have to confirm it once. And here we go. And I don't even have to confirm. Like, it just starts driving straight into the intersection. It's turned green. That's a cool thing. It's a feature that's now not just in the Cupra Born, but in other models across the Volkswagen group too. Another new feature in combination with Travel Assist is the ability to look ahead while you're driving right now. It doesn't just look at one vehicle anymore, it can detect up to two, which is a huge advantage if an emergency brake needs to be applied. So now it works here in stages, and because it sees two vehicles, it just has a lot more awareness. The new battery fitted here only has 2 kilowatt more, but it's still supposed to deliver a range of well over 600 kilometers, despite our 20-inch wheels, to be fair, indeed, truthfully, to be honest, if I'm being honest. It's 629 in total when I check the configurator, but that changes if I pick a different wheel design. Then it drops a little bit overall, and sometimes I only have about 603 or 609 kilometers of range. A new feature and super handy in city traffic, one pedal driving. I switched it on with the dial and now I can do practically everything just with the gas pedal very smoothly and intuitively. I lift off the gas and you can see it's already regenerating nicely, so it's pulling in pretty hard indeed. I can tweak the regen strength just a little bit using the paddles here on the steering wheel. One is setting 1 for less and setting 2 for full regeneration. Yes, and it still comes to a complete stop, right? I don't even have to touch the brake pedal. It actually holds the speed smoothly all the way down to a complete 0, and that's really, really nice in city traffic. Overall, I find the paddle shifters really, really nice. It feels a little bit like driving a gas car. If you really want to regen, just press the minus button here. When I'm in D mode, I've got 3 different levels available. And it really regenerates properly there. I almost don't even need one pedal driving here using the B function. So I just turn the regen completely off and then it really coasts. It wants to roll. That of course saves a lot of energy. I'm on the brake, I've got the Cupra drive profile here, and then we've got like a sort of synthetic engine sound. Sounds like there's a motorbike behind us here in Madrid on our test drive. But it's not. Now you can probably hear it most clearly. So that's a pretty solid, well-rounded and impressively distinct sound, and it's clearly modeled on Formula E according to Cupra's press release. Nice little gimmick to start with. In Cupra mode, you actually have a dedicated launch control function available. Cupra mode on, press the brake pedal down and then just give it some gas. And at the same time the E sound kicks in. You can hear it very clearly indeed now, yes. So they really try to inject some genuine emotion there. I actually think that's kind of amusing. It's really only this loud in Cupra mode. Oh, that's quite a racket he's making, really. It kind of puts a little smile on my face. So yeah, I really like it too. With all the extras included, our car comes to 58,750. That's certainly not chump change. But you can take another $4,000 off with the Cupra bonus. You can also apply for the environmental bonus. That'll of course make it a bit cheaper. The base model is currently listed at $35,990 after the Cupra bonus is deducted. You really get a lot of car for your money. Up-to-date tech, a really great engine, and a noticeably big battery overall. Truly so indeed. I really had fun. I gotta say, really nice car. They did everything right. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any more videos if you please. Thanks a whole lot now indeed. Ciao and bye then, Cupra Born.